To you and I, it's exciting, maybe a little intimidating, and absolutely none of our business until we have to fly.
Psychological phenomenon.
To these professionals, it's their bread and butter. This week, the Africa Aviation Innovation Summit, called AVI AFRIQUE, ran its 2016 leg over 3 days, starting on Monday at the CSIR International Convention Center in Pretoria. This is where industry practitioners put issues affecting them in the continent on the table and find ways to, among other things, plan for the future.
People travel for two purposes only. It's either for business or for leisure. And aviation is actually the true mode which can get you into any other country. And as you know that the status of infrastructure in the continent is not as what we would like it to be. Aviation seems to be the only way in some instances where you'll be able to get across wherever you need to be. And this summit like this, we try to bring everyone. Our intention is to bring everyone at the continent so that we can be able to contribute in making the growth in terms of sustainability and the economy, and coming from different angles of the continent.
Among the very pertinent issues at this year's leg of the summit was safety. It was addressed on many different levels, including technically, emotionally, from an experience point of view, the atmosphere, and much more.
So how did you get here?
Most interesting, though, was this aviation psychologist's take on the issue. He is of the idea that safety cannot be based on avoiding something, but moving towards something.
What we have seen recently is that safety performance has plateaued. So we have put all the system procedures, rules in place to ensure that safety is there. But guess what? Every now and then we get surprises. There's an accident somewhere, and we start running around and finding where the issue is. And normally when that happens, then we look at a human being. I'm sure you've heard even recently when there were accidents, the first sentence that you see on the headlines is human error. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean? What does that mean? Human error essentially is a label after the facts. It does not tell us anything. We need to look at the systems themselves. What is it that we are doing in organizations to ensure safety? So the idea that it was conceptualized long time ago was that you can touch safety, you can conceptualize safety, but you can't touch safety. Safety is what the operational people create. So we need to understand how people operate in the operational environment so that we understand safety.
The summit also served as a window into a world where opportunities are endless. Just like Matita Shabalala is evidence that one doesn't have to fly planes and machines to have a future in this industry.
There are many other opportunities. For an example, lawyers. We need people who can specialize in aviation law. Air traffic controllers as well as the pilots, they need to be licensed and to be checked in terms of medicals. So we need people who specialize in aviation medicine. So there's a whole variety of opportunities out there in economics, in accounting, and so forth. It's not just the aviation part of air traffic controlling or being a pilot.
This University of Pretoria student, who is almost ready to complete her studies in computer engineering, might have found her set of wings, if you get my drift.
I'm here because I'm doing a project for the Air Traffic and Navigation Services, ATNS. My project is about developing a radar surveillance monitoring system. So basically I'm getting data from radars and then monitoring whether the radars are working as they should. And then I've developed software to do this, and then also I've developed the software to present it on a graphical user interface so that the air traffic management team can determine which radars are working correctly, which radars are down, and so that they can fix that.
So far we've been able to bring in academics, industry players, even suppliers who are showcasing new innovations and of which what we can do. And the nice thing about Africa is that some of the innovations we can implement them immediately. So we don't have to decommission any of the old infrastructure. We can be able to trial it. Like for an example, one of the things that we have here, we're the only continent where we're using satellite communications for aviation, of which has been a benchmark for the world. And it started here in Africa.
So As Air Traffic Navigation Services, or ATNS, continues to provide a platform for Africans in the business of traveling above land, while growing in leaps and bounds, that is, we can only hope that it attracts more and more people into the industry, whether they have the stomach to fly or not. For Morning Live in Pretoria, I am Tumi Sedumedi.